Sometimes it can be very painful when you thought that you had the perfect credit card application, and then you realize that the issuer just rejected your ass again, and you thought you had the perfect credit card application, but they said no. So in today's conversation, I want to give you a few tips, tricks, and hacks that will help you avoid this scenario from ever happening again. So here are the steps I really want you to follow. So the whole thing here is that first you need to understand why your credit card application can be denied. It's important to empower yourself so you know the exact, I would say, the exact situations that could lead to a rejection. See, when you apply for a credit card, it usually only takes a few minutes to learn whether you have been approved or denied. But it can take up to, let's say, 2 weeks to learn why your credit card application was actually rejected. Because there is a federal law that actually mandates that credit card issuers and lenders in general tell you why they have rejected your credit card application. So you know exactly, what has really happened. So this is actually called an adverse action notice or adverse action letter. And so if your credit score is too low, this could be the top reason why your credit card application was rejected in the first place. Okay, credit score being too low is one of the main section. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really, really a pleasure to have you here. And we just love having this kind of conversations every now and then. So let's go back to your FICO score. So see, the thing is that when I'm saying your credit score is so low, I'm not saying your credit score is low in general. You can have a decent credit score. Let's say you can be around 600 or 650. But if the credit card you're applying for is asking for 750, you are going to be denied. Okay, so when I say your credit score is too low, your credit score is too low relative to the conditions that are attached to that specific credit card you apply to. This is why it's really important before you apply for a credit card to inquire about the conditions, about the eligibility criteria for that specific credit card. That way you are really, really preventing yourself from being denied in the first place, and the pain and the frustration and the anxiety that comes with it. Okay, usually if you meet the requirements, you get approved right away, or you get approved within a few hours. But if it's taking too long, you know that you are applying for the wrong credit card, so to speak. Another reason why your credit card application could be denied, and this is really important for you to know, is if your income is too low. See here, again, the same advice applies when it comes to credit score. When I say your income is too low, everything has to be relative to the conditions set by the issuer for that specific credit card. Usually, and this is across the board, if you are making $1,000 gross every single month, minimum, you could qualify for any credit card in the United States. $1,000. Okay, even Citibank, they even lowered the bar a little bit. They are asking you to make $10,500 a year in gross income, which comes to about less than $1,000 a month. So it's important again to actually ask yourself, the credit card I'm about to apply for, what are they asking for? What kind of income are they asking for? By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. And this is actually, I'm trying to explain to you what to do when your credit card application is rejected. Okay, what to do in terms of how you prepare yourself, how you actually fight back, how you actually get approved again. Maybe not on the same credit card application, maybe later on. Okay, but first I'm explaining to you reasons that could lead you to be rejected in the first place. So if your income is too low, this could be a problem. So when we talk about income being too low, sometimes credit card issuers, they want to have a clear idea about how much you make, but also how you're making your money. See, if there is no transparency in the way you make your money, this could be a problem. So you have to understand when we talk about income, like when they ask you for proof of income, sometimes they want you to verify your sources of income. And when we talk about income in relation to a credit card application or a loan application for that matter, They are. This could be money that you're making from employment, like a regular employment, 9 to 5. It could be money that you're making from self-employment, investments, retirements, public assistance, okay, insurance payments, child support, spousal support. So if you are listening to me right now, boss, and you are asking yourself, do I qualify for this credit card? If you have those types of income, yes, you would qualify. Not a problem. Another reason why your credit card application could be denied is if you have a negative credit history. See here, I'm actually separating a negative credit history from a low credit score. Those are two different things. Now, they're strongly correlated. There is a strong correlation between a negative credit history and a low credit score. That's a fact. However, you can have a good credit score right now, but have a negative credit history. In other words, you can have derogatory marks in your credit. Usually, those derogatory marks they actually fall off after 5 to 7 years, depending on the nature of the item. But it's really important to understand that if you have missed a lot of credit card payments recently, that's the thing. Okay, son, daughter, mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, uncle, niece, uncle, aunt. I'm just saying that if you happen to have missed a lot of credit card applications recently, or let's say you have had run-ins with debt collectors in the past, a lender or credit card issuer might not want to issue you a new line of credit. That just makes sense. Think about it. You just have problems with people who look like them. Why would they want to get into the whole anxiety thing again by lending to you? So what you want to do here is that you want to go back to those derogatory items, those collections, those whatever problems that you had, and you want to try to negotiate a payment outcome. The thing is, a lot of folks are telling you, don't ever pay collections. It's not worth it. Listen, from a moral perspective, from an economic perspective, and from a FICO score perspective, you really want to pay all your debts if you can. So it's a lot better to go back to those lenders, to those collection agencies, and try to work something out. This will help you a lot. This will help your ability to be approved for a credit card. Okay, so if you have a negative credit history right now, when we talk about negative credit history, this could be due to missed payments, collections, foreclosure, or bankruptcy. So this this will make it harder for you to open a new credit card. Okay, very important. So I'm explaining everything to you so you know exactly what you can do. I mean, what's really what you are up against before applying for a credit card. Another reason why you might be denied a credit card is if you have applied too much for new credit recently. See, the whole thing is people are telling you, sometimes you hear on YouTube or you just read, there are some dodgy blogs on the internet that are telling you that you can apply for multiple credit cards at once and nothing will happen to your FICO score. You will only have one inquiry. I'm here to tell you straight up, do not listen to those people. They are lying to your face. If you apply for 10 credit cards in a day, you are going to get 10 hard pulls. Okay, so it's important them to be strategic about your credit card application. The frequency really matters. And by the way, why would you need to apply for so many credit cards so often? What the hell is going on in your life? Are you so financially desperate? Are you trying to get a credit card? If you're trying to get a credit card and you want to gauge your chances, you want to gauge your approval odds, start with one or two. Sometimes quality is better than quantity. Okay, so you're just wasting your time. You're just wasting your FICO score by getting 10 points deducted from your FICO score anytime you have a hard pull. So see, if you had 10 credit inquiries in a day, you know what will happen to your FICO score. Okay. By the way, I just want to quickly remind you of today's topic. I'm explaining to you things you can do if your credit card applications is rejected. So another way to actually avoid this is just to wait 3 to 6 months between credit card applications. You want to space them out. Space those credit card applications out. Okay, very important. Otherwise, it might look like you are applying for too much new credit in a short period of time. And if you also picked a card that has application restrictions, this could be a problem. Okay, you've heard about the Chase 524 rules. Okay, you also have Bank of America that has a similar procedure. They never mentioned it. Citi also has the same thing. So those credit cards, even American Express, those credit card issuers, they do have restrictions. They just never mentioned it, but people know. Okay, people know it. So be very careful here in applying for a card that has application restrictions. Now, let me give you an overview of the situation. Okay, see so I just explained to you what the things are when it comes to actually being rejected for a credit card, and it's like you gotta really let it sink in for real. So all the causes, right? Your credit score is too low, your income is too low, you have a negative credit history, you applied for too much new credit recently, or you picked a card that has application restrictions. So in all those cases, you know what to do. You know the mitigating solution to actually to apply. Okay. Now, does getting denied for a credit card hurt your credit score? This is the quintessential question. Yes. Yes, I just said that. Okay. Getting denied for a credit card affect your credit score. Let's say it's only 10 points. Okay. It's not really it's not a huge drop. We're talking about a slight drop here. But if you do it often and often and often, this could have a monumental effect, especially if you are already at a very low FICO score. This could be a problem, okay? And so what do you have to do about repeated credit card denials? Because son, daughter, you're probably sitting there, why is my ass, keeping denied? Why am I being denied over and over and over? Well, you need to actually go back to the origins here. Go back to those adverse notices. Okay, there are adverse action notices that I talk about. So anytime your credit card credit card application is turned down, the credit card issuer has to explain to you what led them to actually deny your ass in the first place. Okay, so you want to look for common themes, like, is your credit score too low? Is your income too low? Do you have derogatory marks on your credit report that you need to actually work out? Okay, have you applied for too much new credit recently? Have you picked a card that actually has application restrictions? Those are common questions, okay? So if you are constantly getting denied for credit cards, you might not have a strong enough credit history to be accepted for a new credit account. So maybe you want to shift your strategy. Instead of applying the same strategy, maybe you want to look for a secured credit card. Go back to your bank, go back to your credit union, and start from there. Okay, you want to apply for a secured credit card, which gives you a small line of credit in exchange for a refundable security deposit. Okay, now you could still be denied for a secure card if your income is too low, or if you have many derogatory marks on your credit report. So approval isn't guaranteed, but it's worth a try. Let me give you a few pro tips so we are clear about the things you can do also. And so if you are personally being denied over and over and over, you might also consider being an authorized user on a partner's credit card. This could also be a relative's credit card. Anybody in your family. It could be a friend. It could be a friend also. It can be a cousin. It can be your father. It can be your mother. It can be your grandfather, grandmother. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So, and because by being an authorized user, you are having the opportunity to piggyback off someone else's positive credit history, and this might help improve your chances of being accepted for a credit card in the future. So, how do you actually get approved for your next credit card? Let's have a quick conversation about that. See, the thing is, you want to go back to being a responsible card issuer, okay? Don't try to play games with credit card issuers. Don't try to play games with the card itself. Don't use the card as if the card were your own money. It ain't your money. It ain't your money. So you need to get this in your mind, get it to your mind, and keep it there. Okay. So use your current credit cards responsibly. So if you currently have other credit cards, use them responsibly. When we talk about responsible, we're talking about what? We're talking about paying on time. We're talking about making sure that you are respected, not respected. You are actually monitoring your CUR, and you are making sure that your CUR is not really getting out of hands here. Okay, credit utilization ratio. Those are really important elements. So, and you want to try to build your credit score also. See, the whole thing is that when we talk about building your credit score is not just 100% related to the use of credit cards. You got to look at your other lines of credit. Are we talking about how are you managing your loans? How are you managing your lines of credit if you have them? You know, are you making payments? Are you making let's say consistent payment on your rent, on your utilities? Okay, and the good thing is there are companies nowadays that allow you to get credit for your good payment history when it comes to rent and when it comes to utilities and whatnot. So seize those opportunities. See those opportunities, okay? Other opportunities that you might want to seize when it comes to fixing the situation that leads to your credit card rejections in the first place is to get into a game where you monitor your credit reports. Okay, I know a lot of folks that don't want to do this. People are so busy nowadays. They just like, yeah, I don't want to do this. Blah 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 blah. The funny thing is, I'm not asking you to monitor your credit reports as often as you monitor your investment accounts. I mean, you can monitor your investment account if you are a long-term investor, maybe once a year, once a quarter, or once every 6 months. But your credit reports, this is a different animal. Okay. You got to monitor your credit reports more often. And if you were to ask me what is the best frequency, well, the best frequency depends on your situation, boss. If you are having, let's say you have a low credit score, then the frequency of monitoring must be high. This could be once a week. Okay, but let's say if you have a decent credit score, if you have a good credit score or excellent credit score, then you can monitor your credit report maybe once every quarter. But you have to have that routine where you monitor your credit scores and credit reports. Okay, this is important. The good thing is you can sign up for a credit monitoring service that will check them for you. They will check those reports for you. Okay, and you don't have to actually pay them. Okay, and you also need to know how long to wait between applications. So as I've said, it's a great idea to wait, let's say 3 to 6 months between credit card applications. Don't you always rush like, I want to apply, I want to go gung ho, whatever. Don't listen to folks telling you, yes, you can apply for a credit card once a week. No, this is really not good. This is bad advice. And I'm here to tell you, stop doing that. If you are on that path, if you are one of those people who constantly apply for credit cards, you want to stop that right now, okay? And be in a situation where you are choosing the best credit card for you. Be discriminating. Be segregating. You want to zero in on that credit card where you have a higher chance of being approved. Okay, so be selective here. This will help you a lot next time. So next time to be approved, very important. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just talking to you about things you can do right now to actually to remedy the situation of let's say a consistent credit card, like repetitive credit card application rejection, so that your next credit card application is actually approved. Okay, so I give you the steps. I explain to you that the main reasons why your credit card application can be rejected: if your credit score is too low, your income is too low, you have a negative credit history, you have applied for too much new credit, or you have picked a card that has application restrictions. Okay, and I gave you a few pro tips of things you can do to avoid that going forward. Thank you. God bless you. I will speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.